Hello everyone, this is Gene. I'm back with a new video. I hope everyone's well. I've been very busy and very tired this week, so I haven't been able to make too much content. End of the year, I got a lot of projects and whatnot, so that eats up a lot of my energy and my time. But I hope everyone's well. I'll also be on a live stream tomorrow. I have to contact Taylor. But I'm going to be on a live stream tomorrow. I'll tweet out about it and put it on the community tab at 4:30 p.m. I believe. I don't know what we'll be discussing. I think one of the topics is going to be the some of the X-Men '97 news that has come out. And without getting too deep into it, I am very concerned about this X-Men '97. Let's just say that a lot of stuff coming up that I see as red flags. But I'm going to be discussing something else in this video here. This is about the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. I made a video about some of my concerns about the remaster of the three games, of the 3D era games, in particular GTA 3, GTA Vice City, and GTA San Andreas, which is what this refers to, right? And I noted some things like the licensing issues due to using um, actual, um, regular music that you would hear on radio station at the time, and issues with the voice actors, in particular celebrity voice actors like Ray Liotta, who voiced Tommy Vercetti in GTA Vice City, and other things. I'll link to that video. But for those so sort of speeded up here, the Trilogy remaster was released, and it has been a colossal cluster. It's been a colossal cluster bomb. I'm trying not to swear. Um, of a release, right? Rockstar pulled um, the digital versions of GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas so they could sell this. This has been a disaster, in particular with the supposed graphical updates and graphical glitches. Graphical, I don't think that's a word. But anyway, um, and now this is their statement, right? Because people have been taking them to task on social media, as people will do in today's world, and now they have made a statement. And apparently, they just made this statement a few hours ago, and this has been going on for at least a good week or so now. So they've certainly taken their time. So let's see what this says, and then I will give my opinions. Right, so it says here, and this is from the actual Rockstar website, right? So this isn't from another article or anything like that. This is from the definitive source. A note from the Rockstar Games team, RE Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, right? This is from today, right? It says, "Hi everyone. We want to provide an update regarding the unexpected technical issues that came to light as part of the launch of the Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. Firstly, we want to sincerely apologize to everyone who has encountered issues playing these games. The Grand Theft Auto series, and the games that make up this iconic trilogy, are as special to us as we know they are to fans around the world." Right? The updated versions of these classic games did not launch in a state that meets our own standards of quality or the standards our fans have come to expect. We have ongoing plans to address the technical issues and to improve each game going forward. With each planned update, the games will reach the level of quality that they deserve to be. A new title update is on the way in the coming days for all versions of Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, that will address a number of issues. We will update everyone as soon as it is live. In the meantime, it pains us to mention that we are hearing reports of members of the development teams being harassed on social media. We would kindly ask our community to please maintain a respectful and civil discourse around this release as we work through these issues. While one of the goals of the Definitive Edition was to allow players to enjoy these games on modern platforms for many years to come, We also understand that some of you would still like to have the previous classic versions available for purchase. We will be adding the classic PC versions of GTA 3, GTA Vice City, and GTA San Andreas back to the Rockstar store shortly as a bundle. Additionally, everyone who has purchased Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy, the definitive edition for PC, from the Rockstar store through June 30th, 2022, will receive these classic versions in their Rockstar Games launcher library at no additional cost. We will update everyone as soon as these are back in the Rockstar store. Once again, we'd like to thank everyone for their patience and understanding while we work through these updates to ensure these games meet everyone's justifiably high standards. Sincerely, Rockstar Games. And my response to this, as someone who did have and did play GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas religiously when those games initially came out when I was a teenager, F you, Rockstar. You do not have my forgiveness, you do not have my respect. Fortunately, you also don't have my money. At least not anymore. I purchased those games, or those games are purchased for me, uh, up, what, around 20 years ago, 15 to 20 years ago, depending on which game you're talking about. This much of a muck up never should have happened. I've seen people online comparing this to the poor release of Cyberpunk 77, 2077, I should say, earlier this year, right? And yeah, I can see the similarities. Here's what I think is the big difference, though. While CD Projekt Red should have never released Cyberpunk 2077 and state it was in, at the very least, it was a modern game. It was for PS4, but it was for PS5, right? I do believe an issue there was that it was a mix of fan demand and delays and basically corporate culture, right? Because a lot of people like to act as if CD Projekt Red is like the last one true indie studio. They're not. They're as corporate as any other company now, in my opinion. The moment you get popular is the moment you lose any indie cred. But at least I can understand some of those issues because it was a modern game. It's made for modern systems. This from Rockstar never should have happened. This was not a game that had been promised. This was not a game that had been constantly delayed. This was not a game that was in any sort of high demand. None of these titles are in any way current or modern. The youngest one is GTA San Andreas, and that's from 2004, well over a decade ago. Well over a decade now, right? This never should have happened. This is a case of not giving a damn about the quality of what you're putting out to your fans. This is nostalgia bait. This was released, in my opinion, as nostalgia bait. They know that the Christmas season, that Thanksgiving's coming up, it's the holiday season, right? They're not releasing anything new. They're supposedly working on GTA 6, right? They're not doing anything new at the moment outside of maybe downloadable DLC stuff for like GTA 5 or for Red Dead Redemption 2 or anything like that. So they need to put something out. So they decide to put out the 3D era trilogy, which I want to be clear, I'm not against the idea of an updated re-release in and of itself, right? I've seen some people say that, well, this was meant to sort of introduce these older games to the more modern game audience, the younger game audience, which is an idea I vehemently disagree with. If you wanted to introduce GTA to a younger audience or to the modern gaming audience, you would recommend GTA 4 or you would recommend GTA 5 and its various um, DLCs like Ballad of Gay Tony or Lost and Damned. You wouldn't dig out a 20-some-year-old game or 15-year-old game and try to reintroduce it. This wasn't, in my opinion, this was not done to draw in younger people into this long running franchise. You would just use the most recent iterations, the most recent entries into the franchise for that. This was done to entice people like me, right? This was nostalgia bait to get people like me who have very fond memories of when we purchased these games when we were younger, when these games were new, and bring us in here. There were already huge issues, right? Most of the radio stations across the three games got gutted. Over 20 songs were lost from what I heard because of the licensing issues. Because remember, the radio stations in the cars and the motorcycles is a huge part of the experience of playing a GTA game. And things like streaming and licensing issues and DMCA claims and all that stuff didn't exist in the early to mid 2000s, right? So because of that, right, they were losing a lot of the songs. In fact, I heard they lost Billie Jean by Michael Jackson, um, which to me is a big deal because if I remember correctly, in the beginning, sort of like cutscenes of GTA Vice City, right? In particular, when the attorney Ken is sort of like having this like nervous breakdown almost, you hear Billie Jean playing, right? So it makes me wonder how they're going to replace that. Are they going to put in some sort of generic tune made for the game itself? Are they going to put in some sound alike? Or are they just going to put in nothing? Who knows, right? But these are all issues that they should have worked out before they released this game. We're not talking about a new title that has to be released by a certain date or by the holiday season because they want to get those holiday sales. This is a remake and remaster of games that are well over a decade old. This is completely unacceptable. This isn't even being asleep at the wheel. You weren't even in the damn car. Some of the graphical stuff that I've seen, right. I mean, like glitching, cars getting bigger out of nowhere, like maps of the city. When you try to use some of the planes or whatnot, I mean, there's just like a treasure trove of like clips online of the glitches in this game, which is amazing because this is supposed to be the remaster. The original games were pretty glitchy, but you accepted it because that was just the hardware, right, or just the format of the time, right? You understood if you had a PS2, for example, that okay, this is kind of how just the PS2 works or how games on that franchise work, right? Bit clippy, a bit glitchy, right? But you shouldn't be having these issues literally 20 some years down the line on a PS4 or a PS5, right? They tried to update and remaster so poorly that there are I've seen screenshots of like certain like buildings in the games that are like missing advertising. Like there's one of like a, a guitar shop and the guitars are gone. The the guitar shop is not um, advertising guitars. I think this is in Vice City. It's insane how poorly this is. And what's even worse is that they thought this was okay to release. And now they want to ask for our sympathies and our patience and don't be mean to the devs. Y'all deserve the criticism. Now, anybody, just ranting, raving at the devs, yeah, that's not cool, don't do that. But criticism? Yeah, y'all deserve the criticism because you are the same guys who made games like GTA 4, GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption, Red Dead Redemption 2. You guys should know better. If you can make those games, there should have been no major problem with simply cleaning up and smoothing out some graphics from some 20-year-old games. Hell, the damn smoother on the PS2 was all you needed. And somehow you muck this up. And I don't believe for 1 second, I do not believe for one iota of a second that you guys didn't know just how poorly this was, just how much of a poor, defective product this game was. You knew it. You knew it, and you released it anyway. Because you guys are so high up on your high horse, your egos are so big, you as the company are so entitled that you really think you can sell a defective product that is actually worse than the original games that came out 15, 20 years ago, and think people will pay full price and that people will want this. You guys are that bloated as a company. Your egos are that high in the air. You are that entitled. This is literally that meme about how, consumers are just supposed to just buy, consume, don't think, don't criticize, just buy. And I know this is the case because when the trilogy was about to come out, you guys pulled the digital version of GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. You removed the option that people had to purchase the digital versions of the originals. You could have just taken those three, as you're doing right now. You just could have taken those three digital versions, put them as a bundle, sell them, and be fine. No, you decided to create, in my opinion, intentionally create a defective product and then sell it to your audience because you had to get some holiday sales. You had to get some end of year sales. There's nothing wrong with playing on nostalgia or getting end of year sales. I'm not against capitalism. But I am against putting out poor defective product and then having the gall to charge full price for it. This is too little, too late. This is a day late and a dollar short. This is simply unacceptable. Had you guys pulled this in like 2008, maybe I could understand. But we are in 2021. We are literal weeks away, less than 2 months away from 2022, when you really thought it was a good idea to re-release games that are 20-some years old in such a poor fashion. Like, how much do you not value or not care about your fans to give them this? To sell this and think, this is acceptable. This is what we want to put out to our fans. This drivel, this glitchy trash, which is actually worse than the original games that we made 20 years ago. I'm not even going to tell y'all to do better, because I just want y'all to stop. Y'all need to stop, and y'all need to think about how much you don't value your fans if you are willing to put out something like this and then only apologize later when you're getting roasted from here to Sunday online. So, screw you, Rockstar. Screw you. I will always have my memories of the original games. Vice City will always be my favorite of the games that I played. But yeah, I'm not going to fall into your nostalgia bait trap. You need to check yourselves, because you sure as hell have wrecked yourselves. But anyway, that's the video. Please let me know what you think, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a good day, night, wherever you are.